More practices with the Giants and more fights.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's happening, everybody? Matt Dery back with you on another edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Tuesday, August 6th and Wednesday, August 7th. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who every single day watch or listen to the podcast, whether you are on YouTube, our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, or on the audio side. We appreciate all of you checking us out daily right here on Locked On Lions. I made a promise on our Twitter page at Dery Speaks. You can also follow us at Locked On Lions on Twitter. I made a promise, and I've got to find this. I made a promise to one of our listeners. Sorry, I'm doing this. I was not prepared today. One of our listeners hit me up, Alex Kimura, Kimura. Can you give me a shout out for tomorrow's podcast? It's my birthday. Huge fan of the pod. Happy birthday, Alex Kimura. You're the man. Thank you, Alex, for making us your first listen each and every day. Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Make every moment more. Here we go, folks. Sports are starting to sports again, but they haven't really done that this summer. It's been kind of light, right? But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. Something for everyone every day, all summer long. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. We are going to get into the Nick Wright from Fox Sports 1 proclamation today and his prediction that, yes, the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl. I cannot believe I share an alma mater with this guy. I'm embarrassed for Syracuse. Also, getting you ready for preseason game number 1 on Thursday. Patricia Traina, host of Locked On Giants, going to join us tomorrow. But there's some things that happened the last 2 days that we're going to need to see on Thursday to determine some things with this roster. We'll get into that. Emmanuel Moseley is hurt again. My gosh, I feel so bad for this guy. Oh, my gosh. And let's start today, though, with what took place in the practice session, in the heat and humidity, there in the swamps of New Jersey, in East Rutherford, New Jersey, for the Lions and the Giants, day 2 of joint practices. Again, you hop on social media, all you're going to see is video of fights, more fights. Today, Dan Campbell said this morning, before the practice, too many fights yesterday. I talked to Brian Daboll. This needs to stop. You know, we need to play football. We need to learn about our football team. And instead, it was more fights. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again today. Football fights are dumb. You got to be stupid sometimes to try to punch somebody in the helmet and break your hand. But yet today, and let's call it like it is here. All right, Malik Nabers is a stud. Rookie wide receiver, top 10 pick from LSU, cooked the Lions 2 days in a row. All right, he had his way with everybody. The guy is really good. But on one play today, pass broken up by Terrion Arnold, Nabers running back to the huddle, and sucker punches or slaps Kerby Joseph across the face in the helmet. Kerby turns around and just starts swinging. Oh, my God. Kerby's posting on his Instagram about it. He's staying tough and strong. But then it started this massive brawl. Devin Singletary's throwing punches. Like, what are we doing? The Detroit Lions are a Super Bowl contender, not some 8-9 team trying to get tough, trying to prove themselves. The Giants acted like clowns for the last 2 days. And sometimes the Lions reacted wrongly. I'm not saying don't defend yourself. I'm not saying don't defend your teammates. The Kerby Joseph's Mike Tyson impersonation, dude, you're going to hurt yourself. You want to go back at him and get in his face and shove him? That's fine. But just the amount of punches. I mean, you know, Kyle Meinke tweeted out today, Kerby Joseph had to leave the field. He was escorted off by security. At one point today, the Lions pulled Levi Onwuzurike off the field and undrafted rookie safety Maurice Norris as well for fighting. This can't go on Thursday night. And I know it'll be a different environment. You'll be in real uniforms. You'll be on the real turf. It's a game Thursday, albeit a preseason game. But stop fighting. Lions and Jaguars held joint practices last year. This didn't happen. The Lions, I'm not saying act like you've been there before, and I know they have not been there a lot. But this group now has to elevate its game. Their eyes are on a real prize, a Super Bowl, getting to a Super Bowl. And today's performance, look, Onwuzurike again played really, really well. Aleem McNeil was dominant today at times against the Giants' interior defensive line. Taylor Decker struggled today against Brian Burns. Look, a lot of people struggle against Brian Burns, right? For the most part, the Lions defense did a great job in 11-on-11s against Daniel Jones and that Giants offense. Nabers was good, but the rest of the defense really stepped up. All right. Backup quarterback is a major issue right now. But the fighting, I hope Thursday night they just play football. And I get it. It's a different environment. This morning it was, heat, humidity, sun. Those joint practices can get chippy. But last 2 days has been way too over the top. And I'm glad nobody is majorly injured or has a broken wrist or a broken hand from punching somebody in the helmet. Like I said, this Lions team is different. They're built different. There's so much talent here. There's so many guys that can really play football. And their mindset is really, really, really on point under Dan Campbell of one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time, one rep at a time, and just focus. And I thought the last couple of days kind of getting caught up in this BS with the Giants and the constant fighting only is going to put a target on your back. Marcus Mosher, who hosts Locked On Cowboys, posted on Twitter, Dan Campbell's team is reckless. Like, no, it's not. They got sucked into a lot of this by the Giants. They did. But these are the optics now that are out there because everybody's got video of 2 days of fighting. You don't want that bullseye on your back. You don't want that target. You don't want people to think you're a dirty team. Look at Kerby Joseph. Kerby Joseph is known around the league as a dirty player. He is. In Detroit, he's our guy. We love him. But the low tackles on TJ Hawkinson, and then in the playoffs, it escapes me who the tight end was that he injured was it Higbee from the Rams? I mean, Kerby Joseph has a reputation. You don't want that when the ball's in the air and it's a bang play and the officials might throw the flag because they think Kirby's dirty. Can't have that. Kerby Joseph has got to clean it up. I get it. You got smacked across the face. You're retaliating. But going in there guns a-blazing with 4 or 5 right hooks and I don't know. You want to go back into Nabers, get in his face, shove him a little bit is one thing. But the punching, I hope Thursday night, and Kerby Joseph won't play. I mean, they're going to play backups Thursday night. I just hope the game itself is football. We still got to learn about some of the players on this team. And Dan Campbell will reel him in. I know he will. He's awesome. I just have a good feeling. But last couple of days, a little bit disappointing because all we're seeing is video of fighting. All right. I'm done talking about that. Coming up next, a major injury. And I hate it for this guy because he's just worked so hard to get back now twice. And his season's going to be derailed. We'll get into that next here on a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions are brought to you by FanDuel. We all love sports. We love them so much. We don't want them to stop. But right now, no hockey, no basketball. Football, we're getting started into it. It's basically just baseball and the Olympics. All right. We got fewer games going on. But the sports, while they're not sportsing like we want them to, FanDuel is keeping the sports going whenever you want. All you got to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime you are in the mood. Tigers are back at it tonight. Want to put some money down on that? You can at FanDuel. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com. The rain, it rains every day. You're inside. Check out FanDuel and everything they can do to make the most out of your summer. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right, so we were always anticipating that eventually we were going to see Emmanuel Moseley back on the field with the Lions and for the Lions. And if you recall, Lions signed him to a one-year contract before last season, going into 2023, as a guy that with the 49ers has good size, good experience, and can really help the back end of that secondary. He was coming off a torn ACL in San Francisco, had only played in a handful of games, and he joined the team after rehabbing during the first quarter of the year, like game 4 or 5. Emmanuel Moseley was back. And it was like, all right, this is great. Moseley is going to help. And on the first series he returned in a game at Ford Field, he tore his other ACL and was lost for the season. And it's like, my gosh, these guys put in so much effort to rehab, to go through weight training, using the machines on your legs, going to treatment, dealing with the trainers, dealing with the athletic staff, everything. And this poor dude tore his other ACL. So he tore his left and he tore his right, done for the year. Played one game last year. But I love what Brad Holmes did, Lions general manager, was, I love Emmanuel Moseley. Holmes was thinking, I'm going to bring him back. Can never have enough cornerbacks, can never have enough depth. It was obvious that Moseley enjoyed his experience in Detroit, re-signed on a one-year contract again. He had played really, really well during training camp, gotten a lot of first-team reps. There was talk of, all right, Emmanuel Moseley could be out there with Terrion Arnold at the nickel spot and Carlton Davis. And Brian Branch would move to safety and be on the back end with Kerby Joseph. This morning, was first reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter and then was confirmed by Dan Campbell. Emmanuel Moseley yesterday in the joint practices with the Giants tore his pectoral muscle, a torn pec, out indefinitely. This is terrible. Like, that's terrible. The guy can't even stay healthy. And it's not his fault. This poor guy rehabbing two ACL injuries and now has a torn pec. There have been some varying reports on this and how long he's going to be out. Again, Campbell saying indefinitely. It could be a couple months, could be the entire year. It just depends on the rehab and, everything that he has to go through. But this just absolutely sucks for Emmanuel Moseley. And again, it's another blow to the Lions secondary. Lions are covered pretty well at cornerback right now, though. All right. Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Brian Branch can slide back into corner if need be. Melifanu can play some nickel if need be as a corner. He's played both corner and safety going back to his Syracuse days. Mentioned Carlton Davis before. Ennis Rakestraw has been fantastic so far. Another good day today against the Giants. Kendall Vildor is a veteran. Stephen Gilmore is another guy. Khalil Dorsey, they've got bodies. Now remember, Stephon Gilmore still unsigned. Still unsigned. So if the Lions need to go out and get another veteran, they can. But you just feel for a guy like Emmanuel Moseley, who has put so much work in, just wanted to be part of the team, re-upped again on a one-year deal for less money, and now is going to be out indefinitely. So that absolutely sucks. And you just feel for a guy like that has put in so much time and so much work to get back, and now he's going to be out for a while. So my guess is if you're talking about opening day against the Rams, you're going to see Arnold on one side, Davis on the other, Robertson in the slot or the nickel spot, and Branch and Kerby Joseph on that back end. Melifanu is going to play. In some way, somehow, some way, he will be out there. But that's pretty bad that Moseley is going to be out. By the way, Sam Laporta, hamstring injury, did not practice again today. But again, Dan Campbell saying that is day to day. As far as what to look for on Thursday, a couple of things that kind of stood out in these joint practices the last 2 days is, and number one, let's start with this. Wide receiver 4, I guess, if you want to say. If you want to say Raymond, Williams, and Amon-Ra, are the top 3 receivers. Wide receiver 4 is wide open. Wide open. Donovan Peoples-Jones is like invisible right now. Antoine Green, not doing a whole heck of a lot. Doris Fountain has done well. The 2 undrafted kids, Calhoun and Williams, not bad. But nobody is separating themselves. So Thursday night against the Giants, we're going to see. We're going to see who plays well. We're going to see who's going to make some plays, make some catches, go out and high point the football, separate from defenders. Wide receiver 4, wide open with the Lions. That's number 1. Number 2, quarterback number 2, no clue. Nate Sudfeld got first team reps yesterday, or second team reps yesterday after Goff. Wasn't great. Today, Hendon Hooker was sort of the backup to Goff. Also, again, wasn't great. Got chewed out today, Hooker did, by Ben Johnson on a penalty for a legal procedure. My guess is that Dan Campbell and company will start Nate Sudfeld on Thursday night with Hooker coming in. And then the next week, when the Lions play, who do they play in the weekend? Kansas City, Hooker will start and Sudfeld will be the backup. But that is yet to be determined at any cost. You really just don't know who the backup quarterback is going to be. And I'll say it again. If these 2 guys both suck and aren't getting it done, and the Lions are not comfortable going into the season with either of them, Ryan Tannehill's available. So that's there. But you love what the Lions front 4 has been doing. Saw some highlights today. Marcus Davenport doing work. Aleem McNeil has been fantastic. Onwuzurike's been really good. Aiden Hutchinson's doing Aiden type of things. So that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Many of those guys I don't think are going to play on Thursday night. Dan Campbell didn't tip his hand really yet on where all this is going, but team's in good shape. The team is in good shape. There's a lot of depth. I mean, the tight end battle. How about James Mitchell being 4th string on the depth chart behind a guy like Shane Zylstra, who's ahead of him on the depth chart? So there's going to be some interesting cuts on that final cut down in late August when the team gets their roster together. But that's another thing to watch for Thursday night. We'll talk about it with Patricia Traina tomorrow. Is that 4th tight end spot. Really, tight end 3 and 4. Parker Hesse has been good. Of course, you got Brock Wright. Sam Laporte has been out. James Mitchell. Shane Zylstra. Good competition right now. That's all you can ask for. All you can ask for sure. All right, coming up next, I'm going to play you this audio. The executive producer, as I like to call him, Nathan Litke, hooking us up with this from FS1 today. First Things First, I think is the name of the show. I don't watch it, but Nick Wright of FS1, maybe the new face of FS1 now that Skip's leaving. He's picking the Chicago Bears to go to the Super Bowl and win the NFC. And his reasoning behind why he thinks the Lions are going to slide is absolute comedy. And Locked On Lions is brought to you by BetterHelp. Hey, I'll tell you this, your schedule's packed with stuff going on right now. Maybe kids' activities, big work projects, much, much more. It's easy to let your priorities slip. Well, you got to take care of yourself, right? Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. All right. If you think about starting therapy, that's why you should try BetterHelp. All right. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com HELP.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Welcome back. Matt Dery with you. No call of the day today. I'm going to try to squeeze it in either tomorrow or Thursday. We may do that. Go to speakpipe.com/Dery podcast page, DERY podcast page. Speakpipe, PIPE.com/Dery podcast page, and leave a voicemail. Keep it clean, keep it above board, and it would be much appreciated if we can get your thoughts on the Lions, and we'll do that each and every day, or not each and every day, but as many days as we can with our call of the day. All right, you got to listen to this. Courtesy of Fox Sports 1, Nick Wright, talking head, hot take artist, whatever you want to call it, host. He's actually picking the Bears to win the Super Bowl, and his reasoning on the Lions' demise is hilarious. Listen to this.
Game, bruised guy CJ Stroud a year ago, a few months ago, was in the divisional round. And we also discussed how all of the other NFC contenders have major and all of a sudden more and more red flags. The defending NFC champion, San Francisco 49ers, their best player on their team, Trent Williams, is yet to show up to training camp. Their best wide receiver, we could be traded during this segment for all we know. The Dallas Cowboys can't sign anyone on their team. The stories out of Philadelphia are about, do the coach and quarterback actually like each other? Does the coach even get to pick his own coaching staff? And there is still this fog of a supernatural funk hanging over the franchise, even though Brew is dismissing it. The Rams' best player retired. The Lions' kicker, unfortunately, got injured. And now we found out yesterday, Emmanuel Moseley got injured. So all of those things were reasons the Bears to the Super Bowl take just started looking more and more attractive. And then there is this, and which is why I feel the need, even though it is not predictions week, to make this declaration today. Because after tonight, there's going to be so many more suitors. Because after tonight, when the world gets to see Caleb Williams on Hard Knocks, when the only negative press he's gotten in months is he chastises his teammates about how clean the locker room is or isn't, I know what's going to happen by this time tomorrow. Everyone's going to be wanting to flirt with the Bears to the Super Bowl take. So I, like any wise man would, need to, metaphorically put a ring on the take to make sure everyone knows. Everyone knows where I stand and where we stand.
Officially going.
So I am here to say, after a long courtship, a few lovely dates, and a really transcendent weekend, I'm ready to move from the flirtation stage to the commitment stage. And I am picking the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams to win the NFC and to be a rookie quarterback representative in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
The minutes that you...
Okay. I get it. It's hot take season. People talking about the NFL. Nick Wright is on this show with those flowing locks. But that is ridiculous. That's preposterous. The Chicago Bears might not even make the playoffs. They're going to be better. Caleb Williams might be good. But to say, oh, yeah, here are the red flags for all the NFC contenders, doesn't mention the Packers. All right, didn't even mention Green Bay. And then says about Detroit, well, their kicker's hurt and Emmanuel Moseley's out for a while. That's your red flag for the Lions? That they don't have a kicker? Yeah, it's an issue. Emmanuel Moseley, we love him, was not necessarily even going to be a starter on this team. There was no lock he was going to start. I hate that he's hurt. I want him to play. He's a nice veteran piece, but my God, Bears win the Super Bowl. Bears are going to the Super Bowl because Badgley and Mosley are out. Still got St. Brown, still got Sewell, still got Goff, still got Hutch, still got Gibbs, still got Montgomery, still got Aleem McNeil. Still got DJ Reader. Still got Ragnow, still got Decker. Still got Gibbs. Come on, man. Jeez. What a clown show. Yep, the Bears are going to the Super Bowl. Okay. Jalen Johnson is the Bears' best defensive player or second best. He didn't even make the NFL top 100. Like, I get it. Their receiving core is going to be good. It's going to be good. That three-headed monster, it's good. Keenan Allen in Chicago, look out. Roma Dunze, loved him in college. All right? But slow down here. Super Bowl? They got to play the Niners just like the Lions do. Got to play the Lions twice. And last year, yes, the Bears handled the Lions pretty well. Think that's going to happen again this year? I don't see it. I just don't see it. But again, he got me to play it. He sucked me in. I got sucked in. I just think it's more comedy than sports talk. Are the Bears in the AFC? No. I get it. That's a tougher league. It's a tougher conference. Might be getting even better if the Browns or the Patriots or the Steelers get Brandon Ayuk. And he's right. The Niners have some issues. Dallas has some issues. Philly for sure. But when your issue with the Lions and your red flag is no kicker and no Emmanuel Moseley, sorry. Sorry, dude. If these rumors are true about the new faces of FS1 are going to be Nick Wright and Danny Parkins, good luck, FS1. All right, that'll do it for us here on Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Tomorrow, Patricia Traina, host of Locked On Giants. We'll talk about the team that she covers and all the cheap shots that went on tomorrow, right here